Hey, good morning. Happy Monday morning. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Thank you all for joining the show. My name is Brad Varnell. This is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. I want to wish everybody a fantastic, happy Easter. The day after, I hope all of you that celebrated Easter had an amazing day with your families. Celebrating the resurrection of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So for all of you that believe in that and celebrated it, I hope you had a wonderful day. Getting started off a little bit off track today, but this is important stuff, folks. So I know that all of you that are here, don't necessarily see every single show. And so one of the things that I wanted to start off talking about real fast was this project that you see highlighted here on the bottom of the page, Sosana.io. And the reason that I'm talking about it yet again is because we created a Telegram group, folks, that is gives you the ability to join up with the Infinite Crypto community that is also excited about the Sosana project, and give us an opportunity to synergistically vote for the nominated tokens. So for those of you that don't know, I'm going to try to give it to you fast. Sosana.io is on the Solana blockchain. It stands for Shiny Object Syndrome, nothing accomplished. It's a fun play on a meme token, but it's got a lot of utility. So even though they play it off as a meme token in a sense, and that there's a lot of fun to be had, and that it's really, kind of a meme. It's basically projected as a meme coin, but in my opinion, it could have been projected as a utility token too. And I understand the slant and why they went. I know that on Solana, meme coins are the rage. Solana is the network that has, the most meme coin stuff going for it. So I understand their marketing and why they did that, but there's huge utility. So really quickly, if you own $500 worth or more of Sosana tokens, every 2 weeks, you get to nominate a token that is on the Solana blockchain. And then if you own $50 worth or more of the Sosana tokens, you can vote on the projects that were nominated. So a week ago, it started on the 31st, and about the 14th here in April, the voting began. So 13 projects got nominated in the very first time period. This is a new project that just launched a few weeks ago. So those 13 projects all got voted on, and the winning project was a token called Shift AI, really low market cap token. It's about $150,000 market cap, I believe. Come on, cats. Oh. And the 11 people that nominated that token, they got to split up roughly $4,000 worth of Solana. And so when the winning vote was tallied, the Sosana team took $4,000 worth of SOL, and they went and bought $4,000 worth of Shift AI. And with it being only $150,000 market cap token, I think it raised the price about 30%, that $4,000 buy. It put a lot of eyes on Shift AI, so it was great for Shift AI because they're excited. Sosana is talking about them. All of the people that won the airdrop. So the people that got the airdrop in Shift tokens won like about $360 to $375 worth of those tokens. So the reason I put the Telegram group together was so that we could synergistically come up with a project that we wanted to vote on. And so I have over $500 worth of Sosana tokens, and I'm gonna nominate a project here in the next handful of days. I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow and Wednesday too, so you're gonna hear about it a little bit more if you don't understand it. But I'm gonna nominate a project, and then all of us that are inside this group, let me share my screen a little bit here real quick so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. There we go. So then we got to add it to stage. Oops. There we go. So this is the Telegram group. You can't see this message, but one of the things that I said in the Telegram group is last week the winning token had 11 votes. I think if we can get up to 20 votes, we will have an extremely high likelihood of winning this current vote that's going to be coming up next Sunday. So we've got a week to get this together. So the requirements are, A, you got to join our Telegram group. B, you have to own $50 worth of Sosana. If you don't own at least $50 worth of Sosana and you can't vote, then you're not adding any value to the Telegram group. And so you don't want to join the Telegram group unless you're committed to buying at least $50 worth of the Sosana tokens. But what I said here was, so we are making money on the airdrops. So when we win, we get, like, let's just say that 20 of us vote, and let's just say that the prize pool doesn't go up. I think it might go up, but let's just say that the prize pool is worth, $4,000 again, and 20 of us voted on the winning token. Well, we would each earn $200 worth of that airdrop. So just for owning $50 in Sosana tokens, you have the potential to earn, I'm thinking, around $200. But let's just say that it was only $50. That's still not a bad deal. You go buy $50 worth of Sosana, you come into the Telegram group, you have some fun. We're growing this community, and then we go vote on the token, and you earn, $50 worth of that token. That's still pretty cool. You're 100% free rolling on your Sosana tokens at that point. But the other thing that I'm going to do is the person that nominates the winning token wins $500 worth of Sosana. So if the token that I nominate wins, I'm going to give you guys $250 worth of Sosana to those of you that are in the group and that voted for the token and that, that participated. So once again, that's not a lot. If there's 20 of you divided into $250, what is that? $10, a little, $12.50 or something like that. I can't even do the math. Yeah, I think that sounds right. $12.50 times 10 is 125. Yeah, double that. So you'd earn another, $12, $13 in Sosana tokens. Let's say that we win the vote, and it's a little bit more or a little bit less. But the point is, you have the ability to make money on the Sosana tokens, because I think they're going to continue to go up. So your $50 in Sosana tokens is going to continue to go up. Now, for any of you that want to go out and buy $500 worth and nominate your own token, more power to you. I'm certainly not against that possibility. So if we end up with, right now we've got 10 people in this group. Let's say we end up with 25 people in this group. Now, let's say that 3 or 4 of us have $500 worth of Sosana. I'm certainly willing to let you guys nominate a token and win the 500, as long as you promise to give 250 back to the people that helped you win the 500. I'm open to that possibility. Right now, I don't know that anybody else in the group owns over $500 worth of Sosana, so I believe I'm the only one that is there that can nominate the token. But let me get back to the 4 ways that I think we can make money. Number 1, we can make money on the appreciation of the Sosana token itself. Number 2, you can make money on the airdrop. If we all vote for the winning project, like I said, last week it was $360, $375 that those 11 people won. I believe if we win this coming Sunday, that we'll all get at least a couple $100. And even if I'm wrong and it's only $100, that's still pretty cool every 2 weeks. And you're learning about some incredible projects. This Shift AI looks like a pretty cool project on the Solana ecosystem that has a lot of potential. And so the people that nominated those 13 tokens, they're trying to nominate tokens that are going to win the vote, because people have belief that there's a positive project there that can go somewhere in the long term. And so people are trying to nominate good, solid, winning projects. It's not just throw some crappy token up there and hope that it gets lucky and wins. Like, people are putting a little effort into the token that they're nominating. So that's the Second way to win money is through that airdrop, and that's the one that's the biggest, where you're winning $100, $200, $300. The third way is that you're also then going to get an airdrop of Sosana tokens from me. If I win and I get the 500 in Sosana tokens, we're going to divide that up and we're going to give you some Sosana tokens. And then the fourth way too, that I don't think a lot of people have thought about, but it's definitely worth taking a solid look at. If a lower market cap token gets nominated and wins, like last week, the Shift AI token won the vote. I didn't have time to do it. I wish I would have thought about this sooner, but we literally knew at about 7 p.m. that Shift AI had won, and the $4,000 buy didn't happen until 8 p.m. There's about an hour difference. And so what that does give people the potential to do is to run over to the DEX, and we could have bought some Shift AI tokens before Sosana team bought them, and it literally went up 30% on their buy. And so we could have literally bought, whatever, $100 worth and made 30 bucks, bought $1,000 worth and made 300, but we literally could have bought the tokens in advance. And then when they made that massive buy order and caused the chart to spike, we could have sold some of our Shift AI tokens and made a nice 10, 20, 30% profit. So those are 4 ways that you can make money right now every 2 weeks within the Sosana ecosystem. If you join, you can see it up here. It's a little small, but this says Sosana/Infinite Crypto Vote. So this is the voting group. I wanted to get you guys the link to get into this Telegram group. I don't know if I put it. I don't think I put it anywhere up here in the messages. I didn't. And for some reason, I'm having a little trouble on here. There should be like invite. Why am I having so much trouble? There we go. No, that's not it. Oh, here we go. If we hit add, there we go. All right. So now invite link to group, and I'm going to copy this link. And so I'm going to pop this into the chat right now, folks. For those of you that have an interest, you don't have to own the $50 worth of Sosana tokens right this second. But for those of you that are in Telegram or want to get into Telegram, there's the link. If you want to link the Infinite Crypto Sosana voting group, where we synergistically pick out the project and we all vote for the same project every 2 weeks and try to win, a few $100s worth of value, then there's the link to join that Telegram group. Once again, you don't have to own $50 worth of Sosana right this second, but you need to be committed to getting $50 worth of it before we vote on Sunday. So with that, that's all I'm going to say about it. I mean, that's still way too long. It took me 15 minutes to explain that. It took a little longer than I wanted it to. That's just basically the general premise is that, we've got a bigger community than most. So if we all get together and vote on this thing synergistically, we should be able to win the vote or pick the winning ticket, the winning token, a high percentage of the time. And obviously by doing that, I kind of explained the value proposition in that. So let's go back out to Can you guys hear me now? What in the world is going on? Oh man, you serious? This computer already starting up with this? I mean, like this is all literally about as brand new of a setup as it's possible. Get added to the stage. Go here. Can you guys hear me now? It looks like I got things situated again. We're back to normal, hopefully. Oh man, we shouldn't be having this much trouble. We shouldn't be having this much trouble with the computer yet, man. This thing is almost brand new. There's no reason to be having this much trouble. But anyways, it looks like we're back. So with that, folks, Vanesh, I was saying, that you've already got half the tokens and so on and so forth. So thank you for letting me know in the chat, Dave, that by seeing that. Okay, good. So appreciate you guys are all here. Same thing, Chucks. I know that you are in Telegram, Chuck. So, would love for those of you that have a Telegram account to join us on this. I really think that if all you did was buy $50 worth of tokens and you never even joined my Telegram group, you just voted on whatever project you wanted to vote on, that you're going to get lucky and pick the winning project every once in a while. And theoretically speaking, in my opinion, the $50 worth of Sosana tokens that you buy are going to become worth more money as time goes on, because I see a lot of stuff going on. They're adding a lot of things to this project. And so anyways, if you can and you're willing and able to get $50 worth of Sosana, go ahead and join the Telegram group. And we would love to have you. Looking forward to seeing some more of you join. Like I said, right now we've got 11 people in there. I think that we're going to need, in the ballpark, I believe around 20 votes will help. We haven't necessarily, like right now you can see on this screen, there's only 181 holders. And not everybody is going to end up taking the time to vote. And if there's 10 to 15 projects, most people are going to vote for the project that they nominated. And then there's a couple of people that have communities similar. The guy that won last week that got the 11 votes, he has, a little bit of an influence on social media. And so he is, that's part of the reason that he was able to get the 11 votes together. And it's kind of part of what gave me the idea to put together this group. But in general, with 10 or 15 projects out there and only 181 people at the most voting, I think last week there was only about 45 or 50 votes. They did have a little glitch that turned off the voting mechanism about 40 minutes early. So that's something else that I would say is let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead once we decide the token that we're going to nominate and then the voting goes live Sunday night. Let's just go ahead and get our votes in and go from there. But anyways, let's get back out here. I really don't like spending, 25 minutes. We did have a little bit of technical difficulties, but this is Monday mindset. This isn't Monday, talk about Sosana. But at the same time, we lose a little bit of momentum. I was just talking with my wife about that. I might change my schedule a little bit or add a live stream. I don't love the fact that we have this Monday mindset, then we have the Tuesday trader, then on Wednesday we're talking about microcap gems, and it feels like we're really building a lot of momentum. And then all of a sudden, there's no content, you know, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it feels like we kind of have to start all over on Monday, you know, building back momentum and rehashing everything. It could have been 4 days, 5 days since we talked about stuff. So thinking about maybe adding in like a Saturday morning live stream. Don't know what I'm going to call it or exactly what it's going to be, but I think if we get together on Saturday, that kind of keeps everybody, you know, in remembering, or maybe even Sunday, since the voting and different stuff is on Sunday. Maybe, well, the trouble with Sunday is then we're still, you know, then we've still got, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We got 3 full days where we're kind of not, you know, getting together. So maybe Saturday would be a better day. This is my buddy Ruger. I don't know if any of you seen him on the first stream or two, but he is getting huge. Dude, we should have named him Tank. So this little feller is a boxer, pit bull, and we think he might have a little bit of Mastiff in him. We're kind of hoping he's got that dark, you know, that dark nose, that dark face. We're kind of hoping that he's got some Mastiff in him and he turns into a big, big, big dog, but he's definitely just a little bundle of muscle. And really a sweet dog, though. But yeah, we're looking at once he gets grown up, probably about 1.5 years old, we're probably going to mate him with our Belgian Malinois, which is, you know, like a German Shepherd type breed that they use for police dogs. Super, super intelligent breed. And I love my Malinois a ton. You know, Valkyrie is an incredible dog. She's one of the best dogs I've ever had. But she's just, I mean, she's not small. She's like 70 pounds probably. But I was hoping to have a dog that was a little bit bigger, like about a 85 to 100 pound dog. So I'm kind of hoping that Ruger here turns into, you know, like a 120 pound giant. And that when we made him with Valkyrie, that she has some puppies that will be in between, that'll be in that 90 to 100 pound range. And we're probably going to keep at least one of the puppies, maybe a couple of them, depending on our living situation at that point. But anyways, let's get back to, you know, what this live stream is all about. And today is Monday Mindset. And folks, so if you wonder why a crypto guy has a live stream every week that is focused on mindset, it's just because I've been taught from a very, very young age that you don't go out and, you know, win success, or you don't you don't chase down success. You don't go get success. You actually attract success through the person that you become. And I also think that you would all agree with me, if you've been around this earth for, you know, any long, you know, any period of time, that one of the big separators between poor people, middle class people, and wealthy people is the way that they spend their money, what they do with their money. You know, poor people are just totally worried about the bills nonstop. They're always thinking about the next bill and how they can, you know, get a little bit of a raise at their job. 99% of the time, poor people are, you know, living off of a job where they're trading their time for money. And a lot of times they don't have necessarily super high skills. So they're working, you know, minimum wage or close to it type jobs. But that's not the issue. Like, I very much believe that I could go work at McDonald's for $15, $16, $17 an hour. And within a few years, I would have a substantial amount of money. And that's because if I was working at McDonald's making 15, 16 bucks an hour, I would be living incredibly, incredibly cheap. Whether that meant having to live in a house with, oops, come on, man. If that meant living in a house with multiple other people and, you know, eating top ramen and peanut butter sandwiches so that I could invest as much money as possible into cryptocurrency. I mean, I'm going to follow my instincts, follow my beliefs. So if I was working at McDonald's and I was making a little bit of money, I would be figuring out how to invest in crypto. You know, I think that people that want to invest in gold and silver and real estate and all of those things those are phenomenal too. But especially The less money you make, the more important it is to make big gains on your money. And so that's another thing, for those of you that are watching, I know that we have a huge amount of people that watch this channel, from across the world that are, in places like Nigeria or India or, places where they don't make as much money as we might in the United States. And that's another reason why I think you guys are on the right track. If you're investing your money in crypto, like even if you're in a country where you're only making $5, $10, $25 a day and you're trying to live off of that, being able to throw $1 here, $5 there into crypto can absolutely transform your financial life. But, the other thing is what poor people do when money comes in. So it is what it is. But I just, like tax season always drives me crazy. And one of the reasons for that is it seems like, poor people, for whatever reason, with all of the tax breaks and the different things that happen, a lot of times, they get big refund checks. Especially here in the United States, if you have children, you get an earned income credit and you get these big income tax refunds. And I've seen several, people that I love and that I care a lot about get these big chunks of money over the last couple of months. And yet I haven't seen one of them, not one of these handful of people, invest one penny of that money. Like they literally new couch, new PlayStation, new this, new that. And, and getting caught up on bills, which I understand, you got to get caught up on bills and stuff. But what I've watched people do, it's the same thing when I tell you guys, hey, if you come into $1 million fast, you best become a millionaire so that you get to keep the money. That's a Jim Rohn statement, but it's so true. And I'm telling you, it works on all levels. So I know people that got $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 back from the IRS over the last, couple of months that never invested a penny. And I'm telling you, they're broke. They're already broke. Like they're already in a position where, an extra $100 bill is bad. It's like bad news to them. They took 6-7 grand. They're super, super excited that they got this big lump sum of money. They've never had that kind of money before. And my point is their mindset was just all about consumer, going and buying video games and couches and all sorts of different stuff. And then back to broke before they ever even know it. Like the money went through their hands like a colander, like water when you're straining spaghetti noodles and you throw water over the top of the spaghetti noodles, the way that the water came out the bottom of the strainer is the way that the money flowed through their hands and back out into the world. And that's why they always say, the Pareto principle that, 20% or 80% of the results will happen in 20% of the time. 80% of the money is owned by 20% of the people. And you could literally take every dollar that's in the world right now and you could distribute it evenly amongst every human being, give everybody the same amount of money. And I'm telling you that the poor people, the broke people, the people with the broke mindset, within a pretty short period of time, they'd be broke again. And the people that were rich, that you took all of the money away from, would have the money again. And so, folks, it isn't rich people. They just understand money better. But the main thing that they do is rich people understand that money is a tool that is designed to buy income-producing assets with. So if a poor person with a broke mindset got handed $1 million, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to buy new cars. They're going to buy fancy stuff. They're going to go on, these vacations. They might spend some money on a house, which is actually something that would have a little bit of value. But most of the time, they will create so much of a monthly expense. Like all of a sudden, like they're living off of, say, $3,000 a month. Now they get $1 million and they go out and they buy a couple of cars, but they don't want to pay just straight cash for the cars, so that, they've got these big car payments. They go buy a way bigger house than they really need, and they've got this massive house payment. And what happens is, even if they buy some things that are technically assets, even if they're depreciating assets, they basically eventually they eventually will end up with no money, and they'll end up with so many bills that they literally have to start selling their stuff in order to cover their bills. And eventually they end up back at their $3,000 a month lifestyle, with their $3,000 a month house, with their $3,000 a month car, and all of the problems that they have, you know, with a $3,000 a month income. Where a rich person, if you give a rich person $1 million, he's going to take that $1 million. He's going to go buy revenue producing assets. He's going to buy crypto. He's going to buy gold. He's going to buy silver. He's going to buy real estate, but he's going to buy real estate, not that he lives in the real estate. He's going to buy real estate that is making him cash flow. And then what he's going to do is he's going to take that money that's coming in from these investments, and he's going to use that to buy the stuff. Like, you know, Robert Kiyosaki is famous. He's got a story where he wanted to buy this Porsche that was going to cost him $1,000 a month. And so he went out and he bought some real estate that produced $1,000 a month in income, and he used that $1,000 a month to make the payment on the Porsche. And the cool thing is once he's got the Porsche paid for, he still owns the real estate too. So, and it's still producing the $1,000 a month. So by taking the money and going and buying an asset with it, at the end of the day, he has the asset and the car, and he still is making money, where the poor person just goes and spends the money and they don't have any assets. Anyway, so that's, you know, most of us were born and raised into this system where we're taught to we're taught to go get an education, get a job, so that we can make money to pay bills. And so that we can make money once you get a little bit higher up in the world, if you go from, you know, that $3,000 job and you get some raises and you get some experience, and now you're in a job where you're making, you know, $75,000 a year. Well, now you got a nicer car, then you got a nicer house, and you got some credit card debt, and you got more stuff. Maybe you bought a boat, or you've got Sea-Doos, or whatever it is that you like to do. But you're still just as broke at 75 grand as you were at 36,000. It's just that you're broke with a little bit nicer car. You're broke with a little bit nicer house. You know, you're broke, but you got a boat out in the backyard that's costing you several $100s a month. And every time the payment comes, you're like, why did we buy this stupid boat? We only use it, you know, once every 3 months. Blah, 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 but we got to make this payment every single month. So what most people do is, as they start to make more money, they just increase the niceness of the things that they buy. Once again, you know, they go from the Hyundai Sonata to the Lexus or the Mercedes. They go from a 2-bedroom apartment or a little, you know, a small house to, you know, a 4-bedroom house with a swimming pool and a big yard. And anyways, I think you guys kind of get the point. What I'm saying is, the reason that we do these Monday mindsets, even though I've just been, you know, yakking on for the last, you know, 15 minutes about this, telling you why we do them, but these are all of the reasons that we do them. Because if you're watching today and anything that I said maybe hurt your feelings or you know, made you a little upset, like you thought I was talking to you, I'm not judging. I'm not here to put you down. I've been there. You know, my wife and I, we used to love those income tax returns. I'll never forget, you know, when, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, when it was income tax time and we had 2 children that were under the age of 18, being able to get that earned income, and we would get these $5, $6, $7, $8,000 income tax returns, and we would blow them too. So this is all stuff that I've done. You know, I've been poor and I've been middle class and I've been rich. And I'll tell you, the only thing that changed, the biggest thing that changed, the reason that my wife and I went from poor and middle class to wealthy, was because instead of every time we got money, the first thing that we thought of was, what could we spend it on? What could we go buy? What would we like to use it for? Is we started looking at, how can we invest it? And so now when big chunks of money come into us, you know, if we get $10,000, we would, you know, we're investing at least 1,000 of it, but more likely than not, at least 2,500 of it. And in some cases, when things are really going well, we probably would invest more like 7,000 or 8,000 of the $10,000. And so that's the biggest thing that changed on our mindset. I don't know how distracting you are. You're a distracting little feller, though, ain't you? Huh? Yeah. Anyway, so let's get back on. Hey, thank you, Liam. Appreciate it. And David KGB, thank you all for being here. Hey, new subscriber too. I love that, man. We love our new subscribers. Thank you very much for being here, David KGB. We have this Monday Mindset live stream at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Mondays. Normally, I have a little bit more of a topic. If you go back and look at previous Mondays, I usually have a theme, something that I really deep dive into, a skill set or a mindset that I believe is really important into, not only creating financial freedom in your life, but we really talk a lot about relationships and health. So one of the things that I talk about, David, is, that I've got probably about 60 pounds that I want to get rid of. I'm 51 years old. I'm a type 2 diabetic. I'd like to live, God willing, until I'm 70 or 80 or 90 or 100. And, so I'm on this journey to get healthier. I really am a firm believer that what good does it do you to go out and just smash the business world and make a lot of money if your spouse and your kids hate you because they never get to see you, they never get to spend any time with you, or you're so worried about making money that you just don't show them how much you love them and how important they are. So, David, these Mondays are really super, super valuable. In fact, I'm of the opinion that if you had to choose between a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Wednesday, long term, I think you would get the most out of, and the Mondays would help you to be the most successful that you're going to be. I think if you skip Monday and you just do Tuesday and Wednesday, you can have some success, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the same type of success with the same longevity. The other thing is, David, if you've been around crypto for a while, you've probably seen a lot of people that have made a lot of money, rode up a nice bull market and then rode it all the way back down. And so one of the things that we're trying to do here, David, is to create a mindset that creates long-term wealth, so that at the end of this bull market, if you've got a few $100,000 or even a few $1 million, that come 2027, 2028, when we've been in a bear market for a couple of years, you're not broke and upset and frustrated because you had all of this money, but you didn't realize any of the profits. And so these Monday live streams are my favorite. I think that the Tuesdays and the Wednesdays are incredible too. And you're definitely going to learn a lot. They're synergistic. If you watch all three, it's the best of all worlds. But I really do believe, even though the numbers don't say so, like, you guys are crypto guys, I understand. But, the microcap Wednesday live stream usually gets at least as double the amount of views as these Monday mindsets for the most part. So I understand that you guys put up with these Mondays and that there is a subset of you that really loves them. But I know that a lot of people skip over the Mondays and just go straight to the Wednesday microcap gems. A lot of people in crypto are like that. I used to be like that. I just wanted to know what to buy. Like, I'll be fully transparent. I'm the guy that would go to, a Chico crypto video, and he's got, 5 tokens that he's talking about. In the video, he says, the thumbnail says, 5 microcap gems that you need to buy. And I wouldn't listen to him go explain everything about every project. I would literally fast forward and just write down the 5 tokens and go see where they were buyable, do a little bit of research myself and just go buy them. But like I did the exact opposite of what I tell you guys to do. Like I always tell you guys, do your own research, do your own due diligence. And then I was the guy that was too lazy to watch a 23-minute video. I would condense a 23-minute video down into 5 minutes and just get the 5 tokens and go buy them. So I understand those of you that don't like to watch the Mondays, no worries. I understand, but I think that it's very valuable, these Mondays. But on Tuesday, David, we go through my trader system, how I trade tokens with a little bit of leverage, 3x, 5x, 10x leverage. I'm not a big guy like that's doing 25, 50, 100x leverage. I think that that's pretty crazy. You got to really be at the top of your game to do that. And then on Wednesday, we got the microcap gem live stream where we go over all of the microcap gems that I'm looking into, and then the community brings a ton of microcap gems to the channel too. So hopefully we'll start to see you on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then I just noticed that the most important person here on this earth is watching the stream, Deanna Varnell. That is my beautiful bride. Thank you for being here, my love. I hope you are having a fantastic day. I look forward to seeing you and spending some time with you for lunch here soon. And anyways, so just thank you guys all for being here. Greg says, buying any coin someone shows without doing your own research is financial suicide. I agree. You know, I had a couple of guys, Greg, like I really, back in the day, in my opinion, Chico Crypto was real solid. A lot of his picks did well. So I got a little luckier than maybe I should have. I bought some tokens mostly because of what an influencer said, and I took the lazy route, and I got a little luckier than maybe I should have. I was also in some private groups, so I had a private group that turned me on to several real big winners like DAG, Constellation. It's a token that I know that Drew from the Discover Network absolutely loves. Well, I was able to get in on that token because of this private group talking about it when it was down at 0.03 tenths of a cent. So it's 0.3 of a cent. And I was able to get about $1,000 into that token. And it went up during the last bull market back in 2021, all the way up to 30 or 40 cents, something like that. It was 136x. So I turned $1,000 into over 100 grand. I sold it a little bit earlier than that, but it was still like one of the best wins that I ever had. And I didn't do a ton of research myself. I knew that the guys in the private group that I was in had done a ton of research, and I respected them. But I'm with you, Greg. I think it's important to always take responsibility and do your own due diligence. That way you can never, I don't want to be blamed for your success, and I don't want to be blamed for your failure. If I come and I give you guys, you know, the best pick of the decade and you all make 1,000x on it, that's fantastic. But ultimately you still had to do your own research. You had to take action and go buy the token. You know, you also had to hold it until it was 1,000x. Like, how many times have you guys bought a token that 100x'd, but you sold it when it was 10x? So there's a lot of stuff that even if I give you 1,000x token, that you guys have to do right. And it's your responsibility, and you are to pat yourself on the back for that success. On the flip side, if I give you a token that I think could be 1,000x and it goes out of business, you know, don't come on here and ream me out and tell me I'm an idiot and that I cost you your, you know, like your wife left you because you invested in this token that I recommended. You know, once again, you got to take responsibility. Never invest more money that you can afford to lose. Never put yourself in a position where you're investing so much that if it goes poorly, it's going to affect your relationships and so on and so forth. So you guys got to take responsibility, win or lose, for your own information. So anyways, Lisa says, hey there, will there be a giveaway in this live stream? I don't know. What do you think, Liam? Is that why you're here, for the giveaway? Or are you here to get your mind right? That's one of the reasons that we do these Monday Mindsets. Is it's kind of crazy. The people that are only here for the giveaway, I just about can guarantee you guys, there's no way I'll ever be able to prove it, but I can literally just about guarantee you that if we take 10 of you, that the guy that's asking about the giveaway by the end of this bull market will have made way less money than the 9 people that are here to get the information. You know, that's just the way that it is. What I am talking about here, if you take it to heart and you really let it sink in and become a part of you, is so much more valuable than the 25 or the $50 worth of tokens that I give away on some of my streams. I definitely know that tomorrow, our incredible sponsor from the WEEX exchange is going to be donating $50 worth of WEEX tokens to those of you that go and sign up for a WEEX exchange account through my referral link, which I believe is at the top of this description too. I did want to give you guys that at some point in time so that you could be ready for tomorrow. And the cool thing too is WEEX actually has a way where I can see the people that joined. Like, I don't know your name or any of your personal information, but I can see your unique user ID number much easier than I could with the previous exchange I was working with. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to start drawing winners from the people that have signed up into the exchange already. So versus, you know, what I was doing in the past was if you won the giveaway, you could go create the WEEX account, and then I would send you the token. So one of the things that's going to be changing is that you're going to need to have the WEEX account in place in order to qualify for the drawing. I've got a new way that I'm going to be drawing the winners. And so I would highly recommend, if you have any interest in trading and learning the Varnell trading system, go create the WEEX account now, have it in place so that when I go draw the winners tomorrow, you're already there. So anyways, folks, no, there will not be a giveaway, Liam. I don't want to waste your time. If that's why you're here, go ahead and go log off and enjoy the rest of your day. There's not going to be a giveaway today on the Monday live stream. So where are we at here? 9:51. You know, one of the things that I really love about you guys is, man, there's so many of you that are just so positive, so optimistic, that are winning in life. And I really appreciate each and every one of you that joined the stream. You know, there's a new guy in the Sosana Infinite Crypto voting group that is, you know, a guy named Joel that popped in there. They said he was a new subscriber. So, you know, David, if you came in a little bit late today and didn't hear the beginning part where I talked about the Sosana token, you might want to run back and watch the first 20 minutes or so of this video, because we've got a project that we're pretty excited about here, and that we're all working synergistically towards you know, making some extra money, because this project does some airdrops and does some different things. And by working together as a team, we're maximizing our ability to earn some rewards and earn some money through that program. So I definitely highly recommend, for any of you joining the stream on a little bit on the late side today, that we you know, that you go listen to the first 20 minutes or so, and find the link. There's a link up here at the top of the chat. I'll show it off to you guys again, but you can find it here. But this link right here, this link will take you to the Infinite Crypto Sosana voting group. So for those of you that are interested in being a part of that, after you listen to that portion of the video, you can use that link. I'll get that link and get it put into the description of the video also, so that it's easy for you guys, and probably, I'll pop it up into the, the top comment in here too. So last but not least, folks, we have been going for about an hour, and I want to give you guys a little bit of a break. And the reason for that is because we have a live stream coming up in just over an hour for a new project. And so I want to share something with you real quick before we hop off of here, and show you guys what we are doing here with the GOAT network. So let me share my screen again here. There we go. So this live stream is coming up in just over an hour at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we are we're going to be interviewing one of the team members, one of the founders of the GOAT network. It says get paid in Bitcoin. So you guys, this is a pretty cool project that gives you the ability to earn Bitcoin and a whole lot of other things that are going to be exciting. And I'm going to be giving away $100 in USDT, USDC, something like that. Don't know exactly what token or on what blockchain, but I'll announce it during this giveaway. So during this giveaway, you're going to be typing in hashtag, whatever the word is, that's going to get you qualified and get you into the drawing. And so there, we're gonna have a lot of fun here in just over an hour. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a breather. I want to have a breather. For those of you that are new to the channel, we own a zoo here. We got 5 dogs. We got 7 cats. We got a pretty crazy lifestyle. We got my wife and I and my son, and then all the animals. So from 10 o'clock here to 11 o'clock, I'm going to regroup, refresh, finish off my Dutch Bros coffee, feed the animals a little bit, take them outside. And I look very much forward to seeing a bunch of you back here in about an hour. If you can make it, you're going to learn about an incredible project. I think you guys are really going to be excited about what the GOAT Network has put together here. This is a real world, real utility project here. This is not a meme coin. This is not a Sosana. Not that there's anything wrong with Sosana. I love Sosana, but those of you that have been watching the channel for a while know that it's extremely rare for me to talk about a meme coin. Like 95% of the projects that I talk about have real world use case, real world utility. They're projects that we're hoping to pick out some of the Microsofts and the Amazons and the Dells and the Starbucks of the world while they're low market cap, so that we can ride up and find these 100, 200, 500, 1000x projects that are going to be around hopefully for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. It would be, you know how amazing it is how much money you're going to make in crypto if you're invested in projects today that are around in 20 or 30 years. The amount of capital, you know, like I always say, back in 1990, you could have bought a couple $1,000s worth of Microsoft. And with all of the splits and all of the adoption and everything that happened, if you would have sold that Microsoft in like 1993, you would have turned $2,000 into like $50,000, $60,000. Not a bad investment. But if you would have just held that Microsoft for 7 more years till the year 2000, your $2,000 investment in 1990 would have turned into a couple $1 million by 2000. A lot of these cryptos that we're looking into, we have high hopes for to do similar things like that. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to take some profit along the way. We are certainly going to be taking a lot of profit on this channel as things go up. But if you got, you know, $1,000 into a token and it 3 or 4 X's, and you pull your 1,000 out and a little bit of profit, and then it goes up another 4, 5, 10X, and you pull out a little bit more profit, and now you take that bag that you've got left and you just say, hey, man, I'm going to see what this thing does over the next 5 or 10 years. You'd be amazed at what you can wake up to in 5 or 10 years. And I'm telling you, folks, 5 or 10 years goes by quick. Like, I literally got involved in crypto, you know, back in 16-ish. And man, 21 was 5 years ago. And now we're all the way to 25. We're 9 years into this journey. So some of the tokens that I sold and took profits on, had I not sold them, they could have done some really spectacular things. So that's the other thing that we'll talk about a little bit more on Wednesday is, you know, our strategy for pulling profit out of the market, but keeping enough tokens long-term to really do something special. So with that, great to have all of the new people on the channel. Thank you so much for you know, checking, you know, being here and doing everything. Must be a Tom Brady coin if it's the GOAT. Awesome. Hey, Deadwood, good morning, buddy. Hope you are doing fantastic. And yeah, man, life is good. You love cats, David? We love them both, man. Like I said, we got 7 cats, all under the age of, in fact, our oldest cats are getting ready to turn 1 year old. So we've got some cats that are 1 year old. We've got some cats that are a little bit younger than that. And then we've got some cats that are literally, we got our youngest cat is probably only about 2 months old now, right now, our littlest kitten, about 2 months old. So we got 7 cats that are all under a year old. And a lot of fun around here with them all chasing each other around and playing on everything. So I apologize if I missed any of you in the chat. I apologize. There's so many of you. Sometimes it's hard to you know, get you know, to everybody. Deadwood says utility, buy utility and infrastructure. Amen. So with that, folks, I love you all. God bless you. Hope you had a fantastic Easter. Looking forward to seeing you all in an hour. And with that, have a fantastic day. God bless and take care. Bye-bye for now.